Hi, this is Parul. Today I want to share with you yoga postures for improving hip flexibility and tight hips. Sedentary lifestyle, sitting for longer hours can lead to tight hips. Beyond this, underusing these muscles can also lead to weakness coupled with tightness. Why I particularly want to focus on hip flexibility is because hips are located in the center of our body, connecting our trunk to our legs. So hips control a range of motion from sitting to standing to walking to running to our exercise. So they control a lot of our daily activities. So when you improve your hip flexibility, you are actually improving the relationship with your entire body. So that's the reason it's very important to work on your hip flexibility. On that note, let's start our practice for today. Let's start this practice with wide knee child pose. It will help you to release your inner groin, inner hips as well as your inner legs a bit. So for that, just join your big toes together, take your hips back towards your heels. Now open your legs as wide as you are comfortable. So when your hips are tight, you might not be able to open a lot or you might feel uncomfortable. So open it as wide as you are comfortable. Okay, and then you stretch your arms forward. So there's quite a possibility that your hips might lift up. So that's fine. Just be comfortable, resting your forehead on the mat and breathe. So with the consistent practice of this, slowly you will feel the difference and your hips will start going back towards your heels. And breathe. So this is a good hip opener to start your practice with. Also preparing you for your practice, really good for releasing tension in your hips. Breathe. And you can also take this time to connect with yourself, connect with your breath. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently take your arms in and come back. Okay. What you can also do is, if you are not comfortable in the way I did it, if you have a cushion or a block with you, just slide your block back. Yes. And then you keep it in between your toes. And then you rest your hips down on the block or the cushion, and then you go down. Yes. You can also use another block or cushion to keep your forehead on the block as well. You can also stack the block behind, so you can keep one more block if one block is not comfortable. And slowly coming out of this wide knee child pose, in, taking the block out. From here, we're going to go in cow face pose, Gamok Asana. So for that, just take your right leg over left leg like this. So cow face pose is again a deep hip opener. It will help you to stretch your gluteal muscles, your outer legs, and even your ight band here. Okay, so sitting evenly on both the hips, sitting long, and you're going to try to stack your right knee over left knee. Okay, but it might take some time. Of course, if your hip is tight, your leg will come up, so don't worry about that. Keep working on that. Rest and sit long. You can also add an arm variation here, so it will help you to release your shoulders as well. So just take your right arm up, breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, bending your right arm. Take your left hand, gently pushing your right elbow back. Breathe. Staying here for a few seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently release your left hand and the right hand. Okay, and hug your right leg. Yes, like this. So no need to twist, just hugging your right leg in with your left arm. This will also help you to release your hips. Stay here for a few seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, release this and we change it now. So left over right, like this. So left leg over right leg, sit evenly on both the hips. And again we are getting our knee stacked, but it takes time. If it doesn't happen today, we keep working on it, okay? And then you take your left arm up, breathe in, lengthen your spine, bend your left arm, take your right arm up and gently push the left arm back. Breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release the right arm and the left. Now take your right arm and hug your left leg in with your right arm, just this. So we are not taking a twist here, but just hugging your left leg in with your right arm, releasing your hips. Breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now release it. From here we're going to get into Asana, butterfly stretch. So join your feet together, okay, holding your hand at the top of your toes, yes, and dropping your knees closer to the mat as much you can, and slowly we'll make our way forward. So just take a breath in and breathe out, go forward. When you're going forward, your elbows are gently going to rest on your thighs, yes. So again a nice deep stretch for your groin. Look ahead of your toes. Continue to breathe. So these are very simple poses which you can get in your daily practice to ease your tight hips. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe in, come on. Breathe out. Okay, from here we're going to come on all four. So your wrist under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, okay? And from here step your right leg forward between your palms. So we're coming in runner's lunge, okay, and push your left leg back, yes. So we are stretching our hip flexor. So our hips anatomically consists of hip flexor, your inner hips and your outer hips. So releasing the hip flexor is very important because tight hip flexor can lead to low back pain and low back stress. So we have to release this. So we are doing hip flexor stretch. You are breathing, yes, and check few things here. Your right knee on top of right ankle, okay, and you're pushing your left leg back, so you're not directly on your left knee, yeah. And if you feel stable and only if you feel comfortable, you can release your hands and come up, yes. And when you're coming up, just observe you're not putting all the weight forward and stressing your knee and your lower back, okay. So get a length in your tailbone, drawing your lower belly in, yes, and then you will feel a nice release here on the left hip flexor. Breathe. And if you want, you can slightly take your hips forward without getting any stress in your lower back, okay. Breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And another thing, if you feel any stress in your knee, right, you can always pad it. You can put a towel or anything below your knee to make your knee comfortable, okay. And then you rest your hands down. So from here, lengthen your right leg, yes, lifting your toes up. So we're coming in half split or Hanumanasana. So when we are doing poses for hip flexibility, it's not only about stretching your hips. We also need to strengthen our hamstring, our gluteal muscle, lengthening our inner legs, front of our legs to really support the hip joint. Yes, so keep note of that as well. And when you are in half split, just observe your spine is not rounded like this. So just move with your hips back, your left hip over left knee, yes, and your chest is guiding you forward, resting your abdomen on your right thigh. Continue to breathe and curl your toes in for your right foot. Yes, curl it in. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly rest your right foot down and take your right foot to the edge of the mat now. So we are going to do lizard stretch, lizard pose. Okay, so take your right foot to the edge of the mat. Take your right hand just inside your right foot. Okay, and your left hand and right hand are shoulder width apart. You're going to push your left leg back. Okay, now check my knee, my right knee on top of right ankle. You would take your right foot slightly out. Yes, so that your knee in line with your ankle, and rest your palm down. So your palms are shoulder width apart and your chest is open, shoulders relaxed. And again observe your right hip is not lifting up. Yeah, just like this. So you have to get the right hip down and forward. You're going to stay here. And if you want to go deep in this pose, you can tuck your toes for your left foot and lift your left knee off the mat. So that's just an option. Stay where you're most comfortable. And you're going to stay here for 10. Keep breathing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you gently rest your left hip down. Really very good for releasing your hip flexor. Okay, and get your right foot in between your palms and you take your right leg back, coming on all four, and then you take your left leg forward in between your palms. So we're going to repeat the whole sequence on the left side. So again, push the right leg back, don't be directly on your right knee. Left foot in between your palms, your left knee on top of left ankle. Okay, so this is the base foundation, and we can take variations from here once we feel more comfortable. So if you feel stable, then you come up, releasing your hand. Of course, if you don't feel stable, you're most welcome to stay here. Okay, so check, observe how you feel. Now again, when you come up, check those same things. You're not dumping the weight forward like this. Yeah, it'll really stress your lower back. So get a length in your tailbone, drawing your lower belly in, and breathe. Stay here. And if you have blocks, you can also take blocks by the side and rest your hand on your blocks. Okay, and breathe. If you have any stress in your knee, you can always put a towel under your knee as well, right knee. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you gently rest your hands down. Okay, now straighten your left leg. We are going in half split on the left side. Okay, curl your toes in. Yes, and rest your abdomen gently on your left thigh. Again observe you're not rounding your spine. Okay, so move with your hips back, your right hip over right knee, releasing your hamstring. Let your shoulders relax. Breathe. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your left foot down. We go in lizard pose. Okay, so take the left foot to the edge of the mat. Take your left hand and just inside next to the left foot. Your right hand and left hand are shoulder width apart, and left foot slightly out. So knee in line with your ankle. Okay, from here, if you want to take the variation, make it more intense, so you can tuck your back foot, take your right knee off the mat, chest open, shoulders relaxed. I'm going to stay here for 10, 9, and continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you rest your right knee down and take your left leg back, coming on all four. If you want to take a break with child pose, you can do the child pose. Okay, so just taking your hips towards the heels, opening your knees wide and stretching your arms forward. So it's always good to listen to your body. So if you feel like having a child pose here, go for it. And if you want to stay in child pose for slightly longer time, you can do that as well. And if you're ready, then come up, coming on all four. And we are going to go in downward dog from here. Okay, so first check your wrist under your shoulders, your fingers are wide open. Okay, and you're going to tuck your toes, you're going to take your knees up, hips up, push your hips back, coming in downward dog. So toes pointing forward, your feet are hip width apart, and you are breathing, and you're going to press into your knuckles and push the torso towards your thighs. And we are going to get into a hip opener from here. So you're going to press into your left foot and raise your right leg up. See how high you can go. And if you're comfortable, bend the right leg and point the right knee towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Breathe. So initially, if your hips are tight, this pose will be slightly uncomfortable, but slowly with your practice you will be able to see the change, and you will be able to do this and gently come back. If you feel tired, rest your knees down, and then you're ready, come back in downward dog again, press into your palms, lift your knees up. Now we're going to go on the left side, so press into your right foot, lift your left leg up, and then you bend your left leg and point the left knee towards the ceiling. Breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you release it, coming back in downward dog again. And then from here you're going to walk your feet towards your hands, coming in forward fold for your hamstring release. So when you are in forward fold, just check few things. Your shoulders are relaxed, your neck has a natural extension, and don't worry if your hands are not touching the toes or your mat, that's fine, we keep working towards it. You can rest your hand wherever it reaches, on your shin, on your ankle, and then slowly get your hands up, resting your hands on the shin, maintaining a flat back. Breathe. And then you gently come up, sliding your hands up. Yes. So from mountain pose, we are going to go in warrior 2. So step your left leg back, right leg forward, right leg is bent. Your right heel in line with the arc of the back foot, your left foot. Your left leg is extended, your left foot is coming in. Okay. And open your arms at the shoulder level. And also check if your right knee is coming in. So you have to use the strength of your hips to get it, right knee in line with your right ankle. Okay. So when we are working on improving our hip flexibility, it's also, like I mentioned, to engage the muscles around your hips and not just stretching your hips. So warrior 2 is a great hip opener as well as helping you to strengthen your legs. Breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently get your arms down, straighten your right leg, and we change to the other side. So left leg bent, right leg extended, left heel in line with the arc of the back foot, your right foot. Okay, and open your arms, arms at the shoulder level. Breathe, staying here for a few seconds, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently straighten your left leg and go in downward dog. So getting your hands down, take your right leg back, go in downward dog. And from downward dog, we are going to come in Garland pose, Malasana. So just get your left leg forward, outside your left hand, right leg forward, outside your right hand, and lower down your hips like this. Yes. So your arms are in, okay. So your elbows are pressing the knees out, your hands at the heart center. So many times this pose I have noticed is not comfortable for a lot of people. So your heels might lift up. What you can do is actually fold the front of your mat and come on top of that. Okay. You can also rest your hands down here. Okay. Folding is not comfortable. So there are many options to help you feel comfortable here. So choose whatever is most appropriate for you. This is again a great pose for releasing your groin. Breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently release. Okay. Now get your hips down. Okay. From here, we are going to go in Janu Sirsasana. Okay. So head to knee pose. So you're going to bend your right leg and straighten your left leg. And take your arms, breathe in. Lengthen your spine. And breathe out to go forward, reaching for your toes. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. You can rest your hand wherever it reaches comfortably. And breathe. And your chest is guiding you forward, so you're not rounding your spine. Curl your toes in for your left foot. Breathe. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you release, take your arms up, breathe in. And breathe out, arms down. Okay, we are going to change now. So right leg forward, left leg bent. Now take your arms up, breathe in, lengthen your spine. And breathe out, go forward, reaching for your toes. Okay, rest your hand wherever it reaches comfortably. Let your shoulders relax. Continue to breathe. Staying here for 10, 9, flex your right foot, curl your toes in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you take your arms and breathe in. And breathe out, hands down. Okay, from here you're going to come in wide angle seated forward bend. Okay, so open your legs wide. Okay, you can first rest your hands down and keep opening your legs as wide as you are comfortable, grounding your hips and your heels. Okay, and move your thighs outwardly so that your knee point towards the ceiling. Okay, and take your arms and breathe in. Again, a great hip opener. Lengthen your spine. And when you breathe out, you're going to go forward and moving from your hips, okay, not from your waist. So go forward, yes, yeah. Movement is coming from the hips, and then you rest your hand down. Let your shoulders relax, grounding your heels, pressing the top of your feet out, yes, and breathe. If you feel uncomfortable sitting,
like this. You can also take a block and sit on the block and do this. And breathe. I'm going to stay here. Breathe in and breathe out. Every exhale, try to go slightly more forward. Yes. I'm going to stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently take your arms up, breathe in. And breathe out, arms down. Okay, from here, we are going to do this pose, or this rock the baby. So just take your left leg in and bend your right leg. Yes, and hug your right leg in your arms. Yes, yes. Keep hugging your right leg in, and then you gently swing your right leg. Yes. It's a really good release for your hips, your ight bend. Sitting long. Breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you release it. Changing it to the other leg. Left leg, bend your left leg. Hug it in your arms. Yes. And get your left leg closer to your body. And then you gently swing side to side. Breathe. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently release your left leg. Okay, from here go in pigeon pose. So again, a great hip opener. Okay, so for pigeon pose, you're going to get your right leg forward. Okay, so there are different ways in which you can go in this pose. You can be in downward dog and go in this pose, and you can do this like this as well. And then you push your left leg back. Okay, so when we are in pigeon pose, you will observe that your hip, so in this case right hip, will come up. Okay, which is perfectly fine when you are doing this for the first time or your hips are tight. This is pretty normal. So what you can do is you can take the block and rest it under your right hip. Okay, now check this leg, right leg. So everyone will be different here. So we can get the right leg parallel to the front of the mat and come up. So sometimes for a lot of us, this leg might come in, which is also okay. Okay, just flex your right foot. Yes, flex it. So protect your knee in line with your ankle, and then you stay here. Yes, so again, an excellent pose for opening your hips, centering your back leg. Breathe. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you change it to the other side. Okay, so get your left leg forward, left leg in front, parallel to the mat, or like I mentioned, it might come in as well. That's okay. Now take your right leg back. Yes. Okay, and then you center your hips. Yes. So again, like I mentioned, quite possible that your left hip might come up, which is fine. You keep working on it. You can keep a block under this and center your hips. So don't sit on the left hip just because you want to put your left hip down. So center your weight and flex your left foot, your ankle in line with your knees, and you're breathing. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you slowly come out of this pose. And then we are going to lie down on the mat. Okay? So, gently
take your time, making yourself comfortable, lie down on the mat. And what you can also do is actually, we just did pigeon, but if that's too much for you, you can also do reclining pigeons. So left leg down, you can take your right leg up, okay, resting your right heel on top of your left knee, okay. So sometimes the traditional pigeon which we did before can be too stressful for your knee, so you can do this pigeon. It's a modified version of the pigeon we did, and option to just stay here, or you can release your left foot off the mat and hold your left knee with your hands and breathe. So this is a slightly easier version of the pigeon and still will help you to release your hips. And then you rest your left foot down, change it to the other side, taking your left leg up, resting your left heel on top of right knee, release your right foot off the mat, breathe. You can hold it from inside or outside your right leg. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you gently release, resting your right foot down and your left leg down. And we end this practice in happy baby. So take your legs up, right leg up, holding the outside of your right foot, left leg up, holding the outside of your left foot, so like squatting in the air, okay. And then you get your knees closer to the body, okay, and don't let your tailbone lift up, so resting your tailbone, your lower back down, and breathe. So really, again, a great pose for releasing your hips, relaxing your body, and you can also swing gently side to side. Breathe. And then you slowly release your legs. You can end the practice in Shavasana, so just extend your legs, hands by the side of your body, and just take a moment to observe your body, observe your breath, observe how you feel in your hips now. So really processing everything after your practice, reflecting back on your practice, and just breathe. And from here, gently take your arms up over your head, interlace your fingers, releasing any last tension in your body. And then you gently release, take your arms by the side of your body and turn to the side of your mat. Resting your head on your arms, and then slowly with the help of your hands come up, sitting in cross-legged position, Sukhasana. So we are done with the practice for today. You can practice these yoga poses to improve on your hip flexibility. You can do it regularly or whenever you feel your tight hip needs some loosening up, or you can also do this after your workout as a cool down yoga sequence. So regular practice of this will help you improve on your hip flexibility, and you will see positive and wonderful effect on your hip joint. Thank you so much. Namaste.